Hello, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. And welcome to this educational presentation where today I want to introduce to you and talk about a very new feature we have that's going to be starting very soon. And that's the next in our series of master classes. If you recall, we started this last year because we had a number of students who were interested in taking certain strategies, certain techniques and methods up to the next level. So we're going to be doing that again for the second time. So this is the second in our series of master classes. There are more advanced ways, more research, newer ways in which to apply these techniques and strategies and methods that I've accumulated in roughly over 4 decades ago. Now, I want you to take a look at this chart, the spiders. We all know it's been a very volatile 3 weeks as of late. The market has really made some strong downward moves. But if we recall, in February, we were kind of going in a nice upward slope. Things were working very well. And this is where most students actually don't really need any help, because usually any method you're trading, as long as it's going up and orderly, most students have a very easy time. And most traders, for that matter, whether they're students of mine or not, actually just have to throw a dart at a dartboard and you can't help but make money because the market keeps going higher, because everything works well when the market's going up. It really doesn't take a lot of knowledge and character to design some type of strategy to work well when the market's going higher. But then this happens, okay? Now we've gone into a really strong downward market. A lot of people are saying we've started a bear market. Regardless of what that is, it really doesn't matter. The thing that matters is that most students' techniques, most traders, all of a sudden, whatever they've been using doesn't work anymore, right? I'm sure a lot of you have been experiencing that, or if you're applying it, you don't know how to apply it in these volatile markets. It's very difficult. You have to kind of change the rules around a little bit, and you really have to adjust your trading if you have any capital left at all, because there are so many traders who have literally been blown out in the last 3 weeks. As we see here, Yahoo Finance reported that the Dow skids nearly 3,000 points, the biggest drop since 1987. This was on March 16th. I believe this was just last Monday. The Dow plunged nearly 3,000 points, or nearly 13%, its biggest drop since the Black Monday crash of 1987. If you recall, I've stated many times before, I've been in the business long enough where actually I was already trading on the floor during the crash of 1987. Now that day would have been comparable for the market being down roughly about 4,000 to 5,000 points today. So we almost matched what I experienced some years ago. So this was a tremendous drop. As we look at the chart again, this was right here on that big drop, okay? This is the spiders, the ETF that represents the S&P 500. So as we stated, this is where most traders have a very difficult time. They're not able to adjust, or all of a sudden their method doesn't work anymore. It worked great when stocks, futures, currency pairs were going up. But as soon as the environment changes, all of a sudden nothing seems to work anymore, right? Or it's very difficult to work. It's too hard to adjust to. Well, what we're going to be talking about today is a tool that can help us navigate through these turbulent times. This is what we're going to be focusing on our next masterclass. Now, what if you had a roadmap? What if there was a tool that wasn't designed to pick a top or bottom, but was like a roadmap? So in advance, you had a good idea of what to do. So therefore, you could navigate through these real turbulent times where everyone else was failing, everyone else was being cast to the wayside and losing all their money, but you were able to actually either get along well with this market or even profit during these market times. Well, here's what we're going to be talking about. This is the Pet D Masterclass. This is our next series. So let me show you exactly how that would have helped you, because the Pet D would have actually generated one of our techniques, which I'll be teaching in class, how to be out of the market right here, well in advance. As an example, this would have gotten you out of the market in February. Now, you could have had a chance to either sit on the sidelines and save all your money and wait till the dust settles, or if you're more advanced, we're going to teach you some other techniques where you actually could have sold here, here, or even here below that before I should say, that 3,000 point drop. This is the beauty of what we're going to be teaching in the masterclass. More advanced, some new techniques, covering some old things for new students who aren't familiar with the Pet D, but also going into advanced research and things we've never talked about before with the Pet D. And everything will be accessed easily and simply, usually one click away on our platform. This is the PTS charting platform that makes trading the pet D simple. In fact, I designed this with Pro Trader Strategies with one goal in mind: to make trading as simple as possible. You see, first and foremost, we are an educational company, so we wanted to make the platform as simple as possible so that all you had to do was click one technique, one strategy, and everything was there right in front of you so that you could now apply your education that we teach you in the courses. So I'm excited about this new feature we're going to be talking about, the Pet D Master Class. This is our advanced master class. So welcome once again. Thanks for taking time out of your Saturday. My name is Stephen Primo, president and founder of Specialist Trading. And I'm excited about this because this is actually a tool I've been personally trading for roughly 4 decades now. In fact, I used it on Friday, which was yesterday. And some of the techniques I will be teaching in the new masterclass, I actually used yesterday, and I had a nice profitable day trading. Now, the market was down close to 1,000 points yesterday, but you can still apply these. It makes no difference. Now, I was trading E-mini futures intraday yesterday, but you can apply all the things, and I'll show you a lot of examples to stocks, to futures, currency pairs, even commodities. We know a lot of traders, when we go into markets like this, have a very difficult time making adjustments, or they don't want to be in stocks. They don't feel they're, an actual real thing that they can invest their money in. So they go into things that are more tangible, like commodities. Well, the good news is the Pet D can be applied to those as well. All right, so I'm going to show you a lot of examples. I'm going to show you some new features we have and show you the curriculum that's going to be included in this course. But once again, as always, we first have to share this with you. This is our disclaimer. We're required by law to share this with you, so please take a moment to view it. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results and show you exactly what is inside this new feature we're going to have, our new masterclass. But please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the performance results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also, please remember that all examples are once again for educational purposes only. Okay? So as you're taking a brief moment viewing our disclaimer, once again, we have a lot of new faces in today's Saturday webinar. So if you haven't done so already, please feel free to follow us on Twitter. I've been posting a lot of great information about the current market status and about what a lot of our tools and signals have been generated with our strategies. So there's a lot of great free educational information on our Twitter page. You may want to copy down our handle right there at SPCLSTTRADG. Lots of great, once again, educational information, so feel free to follow us on Twitter. Okay, so once again, as I've stated all the time, we are different from other webinars you may have accustomed to attending, and that in this webinar, as well as in our courses with the upcoming masterclass, if you're looking for someone to tell you and to actually trade for you, you've come to the wrong place. That is not what we do. In fact, that goes entirely against our philosophy. If you want us to tell you what we think of the markets, if you want us to tell you what we think the market's going to do next week, or where it's going to bottom out, or where it's going to top out, if you want us to tell you what the perfect time frame is, should I be trading hourly bars, monthly bars, weekly bars, 15-minute bars, you've come to the wrong place. That is what the others do. Now, you have to ask yourself, if that works so well, telling you exactly how to trade, where to buy, where to sell, going to a chat room, then why do 80 to 85% of all traders, regardless of how long you've been trading, all traders fail? It's because that really doesn't work. And the common denominator is because when you trade that way, you are taking yourself out of the game. You are giving your power away to someone who, in my opinion, doesn't know any more than you do, or doesn't have any more advantages or edges than you do. The only way I have discovered in my 43 years of trading that someone will be consistent is when they make their own trading decisions. These traders don't go to chat room. They don't watch news. They don't watch the economic reports or wait for the earnings to come out. They don't do any of that. They already have a clear-cut plan in place, and they simply wait. It's like fishing. You basically cast out your line, and then you sit and wait. That's what true trading is, and that's the concept we try to teach to all of our students around the world, and that we're going to teach you that in our new masterclass course. So remember, once again, we are not a systematic company. We do not want everyone to trade the same. We want you to make your own decisions, and your decisions may be, well, I'm going to be entering here based off what Steve has taught me, or I'll enter or exit here based off the information Steve has taught me. But remember, we're only teaching you different aspects and different variables in which to trade. You have to choose from that buffet line of what you want. I mean, think of trading as like a buffet line. All right, there you have the entrees, you have the beverages, you have the desserts, you have the appetizers. Now, everyone's not going to pick the exact same entree, the exact same appetizer, the exact same dessert. Some may not pick a dessert, some may not pick a beverage, others may pick tons of dessert. There's nothing wrong with either one of those decisions. The point is they're all deciding what they want. It's the same with trading. We have the buffet line out for you with all these different variables of which to choose from. It's you who's going to have to make the decision on how you want to apply them. But the good news is, once you start going down that road, once you start making your decisions, that's where you start to become consistent. It's when you rely on someone, you go to a chat room and someone says, buy here tomorrow and sell here, place your stop here. That's where you start losing. So we don't want you. What kind of a teacher would we be if we wanted you to go down that road? As your mentor, I want to teach you how to trade, but I don't want to trade for you. You have to do that. And that's what we're going to emphasize in this course, okay? So let's begin. We're going to be talking about this today, and we're going to be talking about the new aspects, the new curriculum, and what we're going to be actually teaching you in this new course. But let me share with you how we decided to come up with these master courses, because there were so many students that that had different ideas of what they wanted to learn and what they wanted to focus on. So we have students around the world. We have just literally hundreds of thousands of students. We have students in every country, almost around the world, about 115 countries, and in every state. So we asked them, we said, listen, what is the most difficult thing you find about trading? All right, even though we're teaching you, some of you are still struggling. What is the most difficult thing? And everyone came up with a different answer. A lot of the students said, well, trading the right strategy. We're not really sure which one we should be trading, mine, someone else's, yours. Or students said, money management. I don't have any trouble trading, but maybe I buy too many shares. Maybe I don't let my trades run. Maybe I get stopped out too soon. Still other traders said, well, time frames. I don't know which time frame to trade. Am I a day trader? Am I an investor? Am I an intraday trader? It's difficult for me to pick the right time frame. Now, in the first masterclass series, we talked about something that was extremely important to all students. That was entries and exits. Okay, so we focused on those. But the second most important thing, I think, was trading in sync with the trend. Now, most traders would say, well, that's simple. I mean, that's trading 101. We're all taught to be in sync with the trend. So why do so many students have difficulty with it? It's because there are just too many ways to discern what the trend is. Every trader, every webinar you go to, every so-called trading guru has an idea of how to find out what the trend is. And that's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The only trouble is most of these tools or techniques they use for finding out the trend are either faulty or they're just, minimal at best. They don't really work that well because they're usually a day late and a dollar short. They're lagging tools. So they really can't help you that much because they're either, a day late and a dollar short, or they're just, not up to par. So we want something that will be more of a translator, an early trend detector. So that's where we started Masterclass Series number 2. Okay, this is where we're going to be talking about the PET D. Remember, in Series number 1, we talked about entries and some exits. Now we're going to be talking about being in sync with the trend, because there are just dozens of ways to apply the PET D. We want to share with you the basics and then go into some really new research and some new ways to apply the PET D in our new masterclass. Okay, so who is this course for? Well, it's for traders who want a roadmap for any market and for any time frame. I mean, think of the markets today. Think about how all of a sudden you were taken off guard, and all of a sudden the market, which was just nice and orderly and quiet going up, all of a sudden went straight down. And this is where traders lose a lot of money. This is where traders have no idea what to do. Well, what if there was a roadmap that doesn't tell you exactly when to get in or when to get out, but gives you warnings and updates as to what direction the market may want to be going? I mean, as I showed you, and I'll show you in a few minutes here, this, the market gave a great roadmap as to what the market was doing. On the 21st, I believe, of February, we even gave a tweet on our Twitter page about how it was giving us warning signs and that we would keep you posted. But they were giving us warning signs that the market may be wanting to change into a downward direction. That's what this roadmap does. You can have this access right at your fingertips on a daily basis, and it doesn't matter if you're looking at the daily charts of a stock. You could be looking at a 5-minute chart of the E-mini. You could be looking at a monthly chart of currency pairs. It makes no difference. It's a roadmap for virtually any market. Now, this masterclass course is also for traders who already have a trading method. Let's say you already have a trading method. You feel pretty confident about it. You've been trading it for years. It's just run into a little bit of a roadblock now, and you're not being able to really trade it to its level that you think you can. So you want to increase its level of consistency. The PET D has just got, we have hundreds of testimonials from students who have done this in the past with their own strategies or methods and have used the PET D, and it's taken their own methods to the next level. So this is for traders who already have a method, you already have a plan, you feel comfortable with it, but you want to take it to the next level. You want to increase its level of consistency. All right, this course is also for traders who are searching for innovative new ways in which to trade and or analyze these volatile markets. Let's say you like to tinker under the hood. Let's say you like to create your own methods. Let's say you're always open into trying new and different things for different markets. This is perfect for that because we have testimonials once again from students who are always coming up with different and unique ways in which to apply this. And as I said before, we have literally found dozens, if not hundreds of ways in which to apply this. All right, some are more easier to apply than others, but there are a lot, and we're going to be covering a lot of these in the course. All right, so let's say you're not actually a trader. Let's say you're an investor. Guess what? You can still apply the PET D to tell you whether you should be in your investments or not. Now, there's some really great research we've done that goes back roughly about 20 years with longer term charts. And the PET D works amazing in helping. We're going to cover this in the course. So if you've got some long-term portfolio issues and you're wondering, gosh, should I have gotten out? Should I get out? Should I buy more? This will help you tremendously. In fact, I have so many people that have contacted me, and friends, family members, and students saying, Steve, what do you think? Should I just double up on my long-term investments in my IRA account and my long-term portfolio because these markets are so low? And I tell them, well, I have a tool perfect for that. And we're going to be teaching that in a course. So you're more than welcome to be a part of this course because it will tell you with some really high levels of consistency whether you should be a long-term investor or whether you should be out of the market or whether you should be buying more. Okay. And then lastly, it's for traders who want to be taught by a mentor who has over 4 decades of experience trading this tool, the PET D. As I stated, I just traded it on Friday and I had a successful, profitable day trading this on Friday. Okay. So I use this all the time. All right. The techniques I use, I'm going to be teaching you. Plus, well, you'll see in just a few moments, I'll be teaching you things that I use in my own personal trading. So you don't want this to be taught by someone who is, working for a company that says, okay, well, this is a great tool. I've been with the company about 3 or 4 years, so I'm going to be teaching you how to use this. I mean, how is that enough experience? Someone who's been working, for somebody for 3 to 5 years teaching this in a webinar. It should be taught by someone who's been using it for decades. In fact, 4 decades I've been using this. So this is how powerful this tool is, and this is how you'll get the experience of someone who's been using this on a daily basis. Okay, so let's go over the curriculum because this is going to be a 3-week class. It's not going to last every day for 3 weeks. We're going to have 3 different weekly classes, but they're going to be live. So you can be in the course with me. You'll be able to ask me questions live. We'll be looking over some real current and recent charts and examples, and we'll be sharing with you all these things. Okay, so let's go over the curriculum and we'll take it week by week. This is going to be 3 separate weeks. Now, one of the most common questions students always ask me is, Steve, when is this going to be held? Because, I work during the weeks, and I know a lot of people are not working now, so you have a lot of free time. But still, a lot of people have to maybe do chores or errands and they're not able to watch it during the day. Well, we will record all of these, but usually we will have these usually at the end of the week on a Friday. Okay, so if that doesn't work for anyone, we're always free to adjust. Sometimes we've changed it to the weekend, so we'll have them on Saturday, even Sunday classes. Other times we'll have them Monday morning so you can get ready to practice or a paper trade for the remainder of the week. It's entirely up to you what fits best for the class. But remember, these are live classes. We don't want to, I made the mistake when I first had one of my first courses some 10 years ago, where I invited everyone to join, and we had hundreds of people in the class, and it wasn't very intimate. I couldn't answer all the questions. So we're trying to keep this down to a minimum. We don't want a lot of students. If we get too many students signing up, we'll have to have 2 separate classes, because as a teacher, as an educator, I can't give you the full attention when I'm getting too many people asking hundreds of questions and I can't cover them in enough time. So we want to keep them to a nice smaller classroom, so that we're cutting off class at a certain point in terms of membership. If we get too many people sign up, then we'll have to have 2, maybe even 3 classes altogether. But I don't like to have these large 100 people classes only for our free webinars we give on a weekly basis, but not for a specific course, okay? All right, so let's go over the first week. Now, we know we have a lot of people. I can see a lot of people in here that are new to my webinars and are interested in joining this. So we're going to take the first week where we just have a basic overview of what the PET-D does and what it is, its basic applications. Because a lot of students, I'm sure, are very aware, maybe they're already students of the PET-D, but there are still some other people that have never heard of the PET-D and want to join this and are excited about it. So we have to give them a basic overview. Now, one of the things we're going to be covering is probably one of the most misused and most asked questions. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time covering what the difference is between the PET-D fast tool and the PET-D slow, because you actually have 2 applications, a fast and a slow. Most students do not know how to apply them or what they're for. So I will go into detail and share with you that. And I haven't really done that in a lot of classes. We'll also be talking about some standard entry and exit applications for most students who aren't aware of that. So that's what we're going to be doing, basically the groundwork in week 1 for all the new students who have never heard or are new to the PET-D. In week 2, we're going to take it up a notch. Week 2 is something I've never done before. I'm going to devote the entire class to my 3 favorite ways to trade the PET-D. You're going to actually see how and what I trade. We're not going to have a live trading class, but you're going to see what I use. When I said yesterday how I traded the PET-D yesterday and how I had a profitable day, you're going to see that technique that I used. Now, we're not saying that you have to trade this way, but a lot of students are always saying, well, Steve, how do you use it? What do you feel comfortable with? Remember, this is in no way any type of recommendation that this is the way you have to trade. But in my 4 decades of using, this is where I've seen, I personally have a really high consistent rate using these different techniques. So you're going to see this for the first time. I very rarely like to show students how I trade. In fact, in my weekly webinars, I never show students how I trade because I just don't want to do that. I don't want people to think this is a chat room or a trade room. But since this is a course, a 3-week course for a select few, I'll share that with you because you are spending good time and money coming to this course wanting to learn. So I'll share exactly what my 3 favorite ways are. Okay. Now, you will see that. You'll get all the rules and the ways in which I apply them. In week 3, which is the final week, now we're really going to take it up to the highest because that's where we cover a lot of the new research, a lot of the new data that has been never seen before. And we're going to cover that in week 3. We're going to save the best and the newest for last. This is where we're going to actually be talking about a new PET-D trading technique. No one has ever seen this before. This is brand new. And this is on top of my 3 favorite ways. This is fastly becoming one of my favorite ways to trade. So I may be having 4 favorite ways to trade. You're going to see exactly, and as a member, you will be getting this trading technique as well on your platform. You're also going to see some new scanning analysis. This is something we've never talked about before, how you can scan. You're going to get the scanning ability. You'll be able to scan and see some new analysis. We've come up some new data, some new research that no one has ever seen. And we're going to be applying this, and you can use this if you'd like. Lastly, we're going to be talking about the long-term investment. Okay, this is perfect and fitting for today's markets because everyone is asking, Steve, are we in a basic bear market? Have we started a bear market, or should I stay in? Should I get out? Remember, with the things we teach you, you will never have to ask those questions because you never should. You should know, looking at this new research in long-term investing with the PET-D, whether you should be in the market, whether you should be buying more, or whether you should be out of the market entirely. So this is a really good new research on the PET-D for long-term investors. Never shown before, never really talked about. We're going to go into detail with this as well, okay? All right, so that's the curriculum, the 3 live weeks that we'll be presenting in our classes. let's talk about this. As you see here, this is the new Pet D trading technique, all right? Now, I can't explain to you what it is. I can't explain to you the exact rules. We're going to be going that in the trading rules, I should say. We're going to be going into detail in the course. But let me just show you some of the signals that were generated recently and show you that this comes with the course, all right? And let's cover different markets. This is our all-new Pet D pullback technique. It's a technique that, once again, no one has traded other than myself, and no one has really used, but we've added it into the course because this is all new. All right, so let's look at stocks, okay? For all you stock traders, let's look at stocks and see how you could have taken advantage using this one technique, one of the dozens of things we're going to be teaching you in the masterclass. All right, so let's look at VRSN, all right? This was in December coming into January, okay? As you can see, we're in a nice uptrend. Doesn't look like anything is really happening, all right? But for all intents and purposes, it's a very quiet market. All you have to do is click this on our platform, and this will actually fill in the bars. You don't have to have all the bars filled in. It tells you the high probability points for purchasing because the bars are filled in green. The stock went up 25 points coming in January, okay? Here's another example of OHI. This was just a couple of weeks, or last week. As you can see, looks like the market made a little bottom here. Looks like we're kind of trying to bounce back up. You apply this tool, all it does is color the bar that has a high probability for selling, okay? I'm not going to tell you where to sell right now. I'm not going to tell you how long to stay in, where to exit. We're just going to show you where these signals were generated. This was generated, I believe, on the 4th, just a couple of weeks ago. We all know that the markets have gone straight down, all right? This is something, a brand new feature you'll be able to take advantage of, and we'll give it to all of you in our course. Let's look at the Forex markets, okay, for Forex traders. Because it just, that's the beauty of the Pet D. It can be applied to any market. This is a 4-hour chart of the Swiss franc. This was March 16th, okay? This was this past week, all right? Looks like we're doing nothing, just kind of going sideways, but if we apply this new Pet D tool, guess what? Well, it generated a buy signal right here. This was at 9 o'clock on the 16th, 165 pips in the Swiss franc, okay? Now we're looking at a 4-hour chart of the British pound. We can all see since the 9th of March here, coming into the 17th, obviously the British pound has been going straight down with the markets away. How could this have helped us? Well, it's just so simple. On our platform, you see the Pet D strength pullback technique. You click it on, it automatically tells you these high probability sell points. Had you taken this very first one and held on, 850 pips, that's close to $9,000 per unit, per contract, okay? Let's look at the E-mini S&P, all right? This is where I like to apply it. Here is an hourly chart of the E-mini going back to February, all right? We're in a nice uptrend. We had a nice slope, and then we have a stop here. Looks like we're rolling over, but we had a buy signal generated right here, okay? Had you held on, remember, this is just hourly charts. Had you held on for the next day, you have a nice profit. But look what happened. Another signal was generated, so maybe you didn't want to exit yet. Totally, altogether, hanging on to the first position, that's about a 60-point gain. That's $3,000 potentially you could have captured per contract, per unit. Now, if you only taken the second one, well, maybe that was about a 1,500, 1,000, or 1,500 potential profit, okay? Let's look at a 15-minute chart. This was from March 5th, just a week or so ago. Obviously, in hindsight, we know that the markets have been going lower. But looking at this chart, on this 15-minute chart, how could this tool have helped us that we're going to be giving to all of our students in the course? Well, look at all the sell signals. Had you taken the very first one and held on, that's 110 points in roughly 1 day. That's over $5,000 per contract in 1 day if you just held on. You know, it's up to you. We'll teach you different ways and ways in which to manage it, ways in which to either exit or hold on. But ultimately, you see the beauty of this tool here. Rather than the Pet D coloring all the bars, this just colors the bar that has a high probability for success rate. Now, remember, as we said earlier, a number of traders like to get out of stocks, like to get out of things that are kind of nebulous to them. They don't really feel they own anything. They're just a piece of paper. And they want to get into more tangible things, things that are real, things that they can hold in the hand and have real ownership in. That's where a lot of students, a lot of traders in bad markets transfer over onto commodities. So Can this work on the commodity markets? Yes. All the things we're going to be teaching you in the course can be applied to any market, any time frame, any direction. For example, let's look at a chart here in sugar. All right. This is a sugar chart from January coming into the middle to end of February. Sugar's been going up, right? Where would have been the most opportune time to buy? Well, either at the bottom, but on a pullback right here on this little sell-off. So somewhere here, as you can see, a buy signal was generated, 140 basis points coming into the middle of February. How about to the downside? This is cocoa, all right? Obviously, cocoa's been going lower into this week. This is into the 19th, which was yesterday. As we can see, we were going lower, and then we had a little 3-day bounce. Look how this tool caught the very top of that and was able to get you going short if you decided to do so. Remember, it's your decision. We don't ever tell you what to trade. We just share with you high probability setups. But you could have captured 400 basis points in cocoa. Okay, so let's recap what's offered, and we'll go and share with you a great offer we have for all the people attending today. Remember, who is this course for, this trading course for? It's for traders who want a roadmap. Just off this one tool that I just shared with you, do you think it could have given you a roadmap sharing with you how to pick these high probability entry points? This is a brand new feature. No one's ever used it before. We've never talked about it before. You'll be getting this included with the course. It's also for traders who already have a method. Let's say you already have a method, but it's not doing that well, especially in today's markets. Well, we feel the PET-D and what we're going to be teaching you can increase your level of consistency, regardless of it's something you devise, something from another so-called educator, or just something that you've been trading for years, all right? Let's say you're a trader that likes to be innovative, wants new and different ways to trade based on research, based on different ways of applying techniques that no one is using before. Well, this is perfect for you because we're going to be sharing research, sharing new ideas and ways in which nobody's ever applied the PET-D to these volatile markets. You can analyze it, you can tinker under the hood and experiment with it yourself. Let's say you're an investor. You're not even a trader. You just have a long-term portfolio. You're very frightened because you've seen a lot of your profits just diminish in the last couple of weeks. A lot of people I've talked to, their long-term portfolios have now been cut in more than half. So are you wondering, should I stay in? Should I get out now before it gets worse? Should I buy more to double up? This is a great tool because we're going to be showing you research that will tell you with a high level of consistency that's been going back roughly 20 or 30 years how well this works for long-term investments. And then lastly, you're going to be taught by someone who has been using this for 4 decades. As I said earlier, most of the time when you take a class, when you purchase something online or you've had an online class or maybe you've purchased a book, it's usually taught to you by someone who's been in the business on average about 5 years, okay? That, in my opinion, is not enough time and experience for someone to be teaching you. You need decades of experience for someone who really knows all the ins and outs, who's seen it happen before, someone who will be there with you every step of the way. That's what I can do. That's what my experience has. I've been using this, and I continue to use it in my daily trading. I've been using it for over 4 decades. You're going to be taught by someone who has over 4 decades of experience trading the PET-D. Now, remember, lastly, here's our curriculum. Remember, it's 3 weeks. Each week we'll have a course from a minimum of 1 hour to 3 hours. It's up to you how long we have questions and want to cover things. The first week we'll cover the basics for people who, I see a lot of people in class today who are very new to my courses and classes. They're interested in learning about the PET-D. So we'll give a very brief overview and show you the basics and cover some things that we haven't talked about before in terms of PET-D fast and PET-D slow and some different entry applications, okay? In week 2, that's where we take it up a notch, where you're going to see exactly how I like to use the PET-D. Never done before. I really never discuss how I like to trade, but because this is a master class, it reserved for advanced traders, for advanced research, you're going to see exactly what my 3 favorite ways are for trading the PET-D. And then lastly, this is where we really go into new and unexplored territory. We're going to be talking about brand new techniques and research. We're going to be talking about that new PET-D trading technique that I just shared with you and how to apply it, how to actually enter what I feel is the best way to use for entries and exits and stop placement, and how you can use it in your own trading regardless of what market. Then we're going to switch to some new scan analysis. This is something I've been doing. No one else knows about this other than myself and the people at Pro Trader Strategies. This is new scanning analysis where you'll be able to scan and see some really new insightful things for applying the PET-D. And then lastly, we'll cover that research and go over and show you what we've looked at for the last 20 or 30 years, how the pet D can really help you decide whether to stay in the market, get out of the market, or buy more, okay? So as you see here, if your trading has been suffering in the current environment, and I think I would say the majority of all traders are suffering right now, then this is the course you need to take if you want your trading to go to the next level. If you want to be stuck with where you are right now and probably never proceed further and stay at these levels, how long do we know the market's going to be like this? If you're struggling, the market may be like this for months, even years. Do you want to stay at the same level, or do you want to go to the next level? The pet D can help you get out of this rut and take you to the next level. All right, so here's what we're offering. Here's our great offer we have for all of you today. We're going to offer you the Pet D Advanced Masterclass. Remember, 3 weeks of detailed instruction. These are live classes. We've added new and advanced research, including the new Pet D Strength Indicator as well. My 3 top ways to trade the Pet D. 12 months of the PTS Primo charting platform. That's something I want to talk about right now, because we're not going to just stop there and have an online course. We're going to throw in the Pet D with our platform, okay? So let's talk about that. Normally, 12 months of the platform would cost you thousands of dollars, but we've designed the platform to make it simple to trade the Pet D. So we want to include this for you. So we're not going to charge you $17.64. In fact, we're not going to charge you anything. This is free, as we stated. We are throwing in 12 months of the platform. So everything is one click away. Even that new indicator, even this new research, you'll be able to see. And as an extra bonus, you'll be able to scan for that new tool we just shared with you. This is the pullback technique. You'll be able to scan for that as well. So that's one thing. You can scan on a nightly basis and see where the setups are for this brand new tool, okay? This is an unbelievable advantage to have, because if you're not able to be in front of your computer all day, you can scan every night and see where these high probability pullbacks areas are, just as I showed you. And then you can scan for commodities, you can scan for stocks, futures, and you can also have intraday scans as well. Okay, so let's break it down. Included with this, remember, you're going to get 43 years of trading experience, and this is mentoring correspondence as well. So normally, this would be valued at over $18,000. That's how much information, that's how much research, that's how much education is included with this. But we know tough times, no one is going to be spending $18,000. That's okay. We're not going to charge you that. The normal cost for this is $49.95. Right now, for our early bird discount, we're discounting that $500 down to $44.95. That also includes the 12 months of the platform absolutely free. But here's the good news. We are including payment plans. So if you can't come up with $44.95, we totally understand. If you want to put down a small deposit and just proceed with a payment plan, that's okay. We can do that for you. Pro Trader Strategies, who handles all the discounts, all the pricing, all the tech support, they're very flexible. They would be more than happy to work with you. But remember, this is a 3-day live class event. Class size is limited, so reserve your spot now. If you're thinking about this and saying, well, you know what? I spent 2 weeks thinking about that. I watched that webinar again, and you know what? I'm convinced. I'm going to take that Pet D course. Well, the class may be filled up by then, and we don't want to start another one. There's not enough people to start two, so we want to just keep it very intimate. So if you're serious about taking it to the next level and you really want to do this, reserve your spot now before it fills up. Okay, here's how to take advantage of that great offer. Also, here's how to establish a payment plan. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. You can email them at trading@protraderstrategies.com. I would suggest calling them right here at 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. They would be more than happy to discuss a payment plan with you. They would be more than happy to work out things with you. If you already have the Pet D or if you already have the platform, they would be more than happy to work with you. So they're very flexible. And as well, there's absolutely no obligation. So there's nothing that you have to feel like, well, I'm afraid to call up because I think they're going to sell me. They just want to give you information. It's entirely your choice what you want to do, okay? So I would suggest calling them up. If you can't come up with that one lump sum, they would be more than happy to give you the terms for a payment plan, okay, that you can work with. Now, that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the sign-up page or the informational page. It's not a live link. You'd have to copy and paste that onto your browser. But the good news is, if you look in your chat box on the GoToWebinar column on the far right, a live link was just posted. So you can click that link on in the chat box, and we'll open up the page to the information and to the sign-up, okay? So there's a lot more information on there as well. All right, we have some more time left. If you have any questions, go to your question and answer box. Just type them in, and I will be more than happy to answer them. I see there's one here already. So Steve, I already have the Pet D. How can this apply for me price-wise? There's absolutely no problem. If you already have the Pet D, Pro Trader Strategies, as I said, will be happy to work with you in some type of way, shape, or form because you've already purchased the Pet D. So they will be happy to work with you. But remember, we are going to be giving you so many new things in this that we haven't discussed before. So there's lots of information. So even if you have the Pet D, there's still a wealth of information. Don't feel as if you've already become a student of mine with the Pet D that you know it all. There's things we've never discussed before, including that pullback indicator that I'm going to be giving to you in the course that generated those signals I showed you. That has never been traded or seen by anyone before as well. Okay. Someone is asking, I was going to say, does it work on currency pairs, but I see you just showed the British pound. Yes, it does work on currency pairs. We have students already applying this tremendously, but they've been using it mainly as a trend identifier, which in itself is tremendous. But a lot of students don't know or have anything included with, actual entry points like that indicator did. Plus, they don't know about long term. I can show you how you can apply this long-term to currency pairs as well. So there's just a ton of information that's never been covered before. This will be in the course as well. Someone is asking, how long are the courses in terms of hourly wise? Okay, I don't know if you heard before, but usually the courses are anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. I've had courses before that have gone roughly about 2.5, 3 hours, but trust me, I start losing my voice after around 2.5, 3 hours. So you usually have them, the average time is anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. It all depends on the things you want to see or the questions you want to ask, okay? What we do is, we don't have a live class where we're actually trading. I know a lot of people like to do that, but I've never liked doing that because many times, because of the way, our series are set up, the type of traders we are and what we teach is you wait for setups and then you simply wait. It's like, like I said, like fishing. You cast your line out and you wait. So with that, if we are actually trading live, you may be waiting for 2 hours for anything to happen, or maybe you may be having 50 trades in 1 hour. It all depends on the market volatility and the environment. So for that reason, I don't like to do any live charting and things of that nature. What I'd really like to do is show you examples and then have you go back and paper trade them on live charts to see how they can apply to your trading. That's really the more important thing. Because what we do as educators is we share with you these concepts, and then it's up to you to go back and research and study, and then come back to me with questions. And then we can go back and take it up a higher level and ask more questions. So that's really what we're going to be focusing on, okay? Good questions. Oh, good questions. Steve, what if I can't make the class? Once again, all the classes, the 3 classes, will be recorded. So if you're not able to make any of the live classes, we record all of them so you can watch them at your own leisure. Okay, so there's absolutely no reason why to feel that, I won't be available to watch them in the live class. There's no reason to feel that you still can't be involved in the course. You'll get all of the videos. You'll still get all the platform usage, and you'll still get all the, the live questions and answers that were asked on the video. So you can still learn that way, okay? We have a number of students around the world in different time zones that aren't able to make the live classes, that they simply watch the videos and then contact me with questions. I see that's the next question. You said correspondence. What does that mean? Okay, well, you get my personal email and you can correspond with me anytime you like. And by anytime, I literally mean anytime. For in fact, today, right before I started this webinar, this morning, I was answering questions from other course members, students of mine in other courses. Because I'll answer your questions over the for email over the weekend, in the middle of the night if I'm awake, so you'll always be able to correspond with me. that's included as well. You get my personal email, okay? Okay, well, it looks like we're at the end of the presentation. Good questions. Thank you so much for asking them. Remember, if you have a question concerning pricing, concerning tech support, or if, let's say you already have the PET D, don't worry. Pro Trader Strategies will be happy to work with you. Simply contact them. You can either email them. I would highly suggest calling them directly at 310-598-6677. And they have trading consultants manning the phones now. They would be happy to work with you because if you already have it or if you already have the platform, and they'll be more than happy to be flexible. So there's no reason you have to feel like you can't take this course if you already have a portion of it, okay? All right, as we close, I really want to say thanks for taking time out of your Saturday and look back at your own trading. If you fall into the ranks of so many traders lately that are having difficulty with this current market, if none of your stuff, none of your trading methods, none of the stuff that's worked for years all of a sudden stops working all of a sudden, and none of it is showing good results anymore, it's time to take your trading to the next level because the PET D works, as you've seen, going up as well as going down. You'll get these setups for an up market, you'll get these setups for a down market. So let's say you're saying to yourself, well, you know what, but the market is just too volatile, it's too scary for me, I want to wait till the dust settles. That's fine. You can take these 3 weeks to learn all this information in the course, and you can be that much more ahead of the game by researching and paper trading. So when the markets do finally settle down, you'll be that much more ahead of everyone, and you'll be able to go right back into trading, and you'll be that much more advanced with this new and advanced information, okay? So this is a great way to take your trading to the next level and to be ready for when the market switches gears into a new environment. So step on board, contact Pro Trader Strategies, take advantage of this great discount and the payment plans. And as we take one last look at our disclaimer, remember, we are going to be offering new research, new trading techniques. You're going to be seeing the way I like to apply the PET D in my own personal trading. These are all new things that have never been shown before. You're going to get this in the new masterclass. So thank you so much for taking time out of your morning today, for taking time to watch this educational presentation. And lastly, I just want to say, I hope you learned a little bit about what we're going to be teaching you, but most especially, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the new PET D Masterclass series. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you in class. Bye-bye.